Hello and welcome to another episode of Zero If I Could, where comedians discuss absurd reviews. My name is Raul Zambrano,
I'm Brittany
I'm
Hersbrun.
Jake Disharin.
and with us is our guest for this episode, Ian Oder. Hi, Ian.
Hi.
Hello.
Ian.
How's it going?
Well, not the best.
Yeah, I guess that's not a great question.
Brittany coming in
when-
with the honesty.
Well, I just started to have. So here's what happened. I went to the dentist yesterday at like 3 p.m. just to get a normal cleaning, whatever, keep up with my dental health. And then,
You don't need to explain it.
okay.
I don't think when someone says I went to the dentist yesterday, I'm not like, why?
Well,
What's
sometimes
going on with you?
people only go to the dentist if they have a problem, Jake.
That's true. Those people are really letting themselves down. You got to go every 6 months.
Yes. So I was there for one of my every 6-month cleaning.
Nice.
And then about a couple hours later, my throat started to hurt really bad. And I was like, maybe it's because they had that like suction thing in my mouth the whole time. And maybe it really dried out the back of my throat or something. So I started drinking tea with honey. And then I woke up at like 7 a.m. and my throat still hurt really bad to where I like had to go get water. And then my throat still hurts. And I took a rapid COVID test and it was negative. But the problem is I'm supposed to go on a work trip tomorrow morning. And I'm just having this moral dilemma that I just don't know what to do. Because that's the only symptom that I have.
Where is the work trip? Where are you going?
Puerto Vallarta.
Wow. Must be nice.
Did you ask them to wash their hands before they put their hands in your mouth? Maybe they didn't.
I mean, they had gloves on, but I probably should have gone the extra step.
You just see them just spitting into their hands, like, all right, here we go. Just rubbing it together.
Yep.
And be like,
All
all
right,
right,
let's
take a look in here.
look those chompers. It would be, it's very funny to, before a doctor does anything, ask them to wash their hands as if they're not. Like, hey, before you guys do surgery, I don't know what you normally do. Do you think you could just rub some Purell on real quick before you open me up?
Oh,
I
my
would really
mom.
appreciate it.
My mom would totally like double check and be like, just please wash your hands first, just in case.
And the doctor's like, oh, shit, thank you so much.
Well, it's almost like how Raul said, hey, do you want to send Ian the invite code? You just copy and paste it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, was I wrong?
That was
Did you copy and paste it?
It's
that
not-
is how you do
oh.
it.
Right. So then you're welcome.
Cool.
well, okay, yeah. I mean, just so people know, before we started, we have like a link to this Google meeting. Raul gave it to Brittany and I, and then once we joined and did our audio test, Brittany was going to give the link to Ian. But for some reason, today, Raul felt the need to explain to Brittany how to share a link with someone. Never done that before.
Well, in his defense,
Which really-
I did have to learn not to email it to me and to message it to me because
Yeah, I asked what his best email was, and he was like, why don't you message me on Facebook? And I was like, oh, that's true. But I
Yeah,
mean,
we usually always do it through. Well, I usually always send it through.
I
Facebook,
just
so-
forgot that I communicated with you that way. I think that's a little different, Ian.
Either
but-
way,
I just think you can never be too safe. Even if it's something that's obvious, it's like like, hey, why don't you do this thing?
I thought
you
it
know?
was really insulting. And also, since I'm already not feeling well, I was about to be like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck today.
Yeah.
Fuck this podcast. I'm not doing it. But I didn't because I'm professional.
yeah, for real. Like, why are you gonna mansplain to her how to copy and paste the link to somebody?
exactly what
Raul?
it was.
It's not cool.
Exactly what it was. Like if you ask somebody, hey, can you pick me up at the airport? And they're like, sure. And you're like, hey, by the way, you need to put gas in your car for it to go. And make sure to stop at all the red lights.
Yeah.
They would probably be a little insulted by the way you're talking to them. Because it's like, that's how you would explain something to a child.
Right.
Or a woman, right? I understand.
So I don't
Go-
understand
go.
that joke,
Okay.
and I don't get why you guys are laughing. But if you could issue me an apology, I think it would help the rest of this podcast go smoother.
You're right.
And your life.
Publicly on Twitter, please, because it doesn't mean.
Well, I was thinking about
anything.
emailing it to her.
Oh, right.
Well, just let me know your best email.
I
one
check
works
my
for you.
email very regularly, so that would be fine.
Going back
Um,
to your dentist story, I actually had
yeah.
someone one time after they did my cleaning. She's like, "I'm gonna just massage your gums now," and I was like, "Okay." And then I'm just sitting there, and she starts rubbing my gums with both of her fingers, and it kind of felt like I was getting finger banged in the mouth, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that
It
seems
was,
Were
and I
they
very.
was kind of
talking?
sitting there. It
Were
was
they
like a solid
talking dirty
minute.
to you while you were doing it?
No, but
Yeah,
it
you
was
like
very
that?
uncomfortable. Like a Me Too moment, I feel like, honestly, in the
It's
dentist chair.
really odd. Yeah, I've never seen
Yeah.
that happen
They've
before, but I did.
they have done that to me for some reason. They're like we're gonna massage your gums. Like, oh, okay, and they're like literally like putting their fingers and kind of like working it around there, and it is definitely very strange.
Maybe you guys have tense gums.
Yeah, I
They can
guess
tell that your gums need to chill out and relax,
Yeah.
and they're trying to help you out.
they always ask me, "Have you had braces? Because your teeth are so nice." And I say, "No, I haven't."
Well,
Wow.
they're emotionally massaging you and your teeth. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized though they didn't floss me, which now I'm like, what?
Well, you probably floss? Do you floss? Oh,
No.
well, usually they. Okay, well, I guess that's how nice your teeth are because usually they don't floss you if you're already like flossing.
I just
You're already perfect.
feel like the copay that I paid, I'm like, well, they didn't even do all of it. And that's the one thing that I don't do. So
You feel
Yeah,
like
I
you're
floss.
overpaying.
I floss
Yeah.
twice a year, and it's at the dentist. So if you miss,
Yeah.
that's like I'm missing 6 months of flossing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a long time.
I always get in those kicks where I'm like, I'm going to start flossing every single day and I'll do it for like 5 days and it feels really nice. And so much stuff comes out to where I'm like,
It's disgusting.
I really should be flossing every night, but then I can't keep up with it. Do you guys?
No, I often once a year maybe I'll buy a pack of those like floss picks, and I'll be like,
Mhm.
all right, I'm gonna do it, and then I'll get maybe 5 to 7 days into it, and then I just have this extremely old bag of floss picks that's expired because I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
Floss picks
is.
expire?
Probably not, but
Hey, maybe just get a little like nimble and then they
These
start.
are bad. Don't want to do it, so they're expired. So
yeah, well, the plastic, over thousands of years will eventually decay. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
I'm leaving them out and exposed to the elements for so long. I
Well,
might as well.
You know how when you first start flossing after you haven't for a while, your gums hurt for like a few days? Like
Mhm.
kind of like I feel like I'll do it and I'll get past that point and then I stop. I'm like, why do I like get past
Once
this
it
hurdle?
stops, right?
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I think it's all right.
You just like the challenge, You're just
But
like, oh. Mhm.
do you guys think that could make my throat sore?
Because they didn't floss.
No, Jake,
Maybe they
go
just
back.
lodged something. I don't know.
Go back in your mind when I was saying how the air suction thing was in my mouth the whole time because they just leave it hanging in there the whole cleaning. So it's like constantly sucking air.
Yeah, I mean, my throat hurts anytime it gets dry. Like if I sleep with my mouth open and a fan on or something, that'll fuck me up real bad. Usually for like a day or two.
Okay, because I was going to say for a full 24 hours. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Raul, what makes your throat sore?
COVID probably.
COVID, yeah. That's what
I thought
would
you were
guess,
immune to
too.
COVID.
I mean, that seems like the case so far, but we'll see if we'll see how Brittany tests tomorrow. And then I'll have to test as well.
Plus, I don't think the turnaround time from COVID is fast enough that like you went to the dentist at 3 in the afternoon.
I'm not saying I got it from the dentist. I've been going out. I'm just saying I don't.
And also, I mean, I think it is important to. We had seen a group of friends earlier this week, and one of them
Saturday.
had just on Saturday, and one of them had just messaged her, be like, "Hey, my throat kind of tickles."
Oh, yeah, we were visiting them in the hospital because they were all dying of COVID.
Yeah, I was like, that's what a weird coincidence.
Yeah, his throat started hurting too around the same time that mine did, and he also took a test and it was negative. So I just really don't know what to do.
Yeah, and your trip is tomorrow morning
At 8:30 a.m.
Yeah, so you have to decide tonight.
Well, I'm going to retest tomorrow morning, but if it's negative, then it's still like it might be in that window where it's too soon. I just don't know.
Yeah, it would suck if you take this trip and then you can't come back because you
Oh,
test
I'm
positive.
coming back. I'm coming back. If I start to feel better and I test negative tomorrow, then I think it's fine.
Well, it would really suck if you missed this trip because then you would only have like 14 vacations this year.
Okay, Jake.
That would be rough.
Yeah. Well, that's another wrench thrown in there. So, okay, so let's say I test negative tomorrow. I go on the trip. Turns out I do have COVID. Stephanie is also going on this work trip. If I give COVID to Stephanie, we're going on a trip to Seattle this next Wednesday. My COVID timeline, I would be done with my quarantine by then. But if she gets COVID after me, she would not be done with her quarantine. And then that would ruin our Seattle trip. So there's so many things to factor in.
I'm so lost about what's going on.
He's got a lot of shit going on.
Brittany just has a lot of. How many times do you go? How many trips do you take, Ian? Like on a yearly basis? How many would you say?
Maybe one or two, honestly.
See, I think that I feel like that's a reasonable amount. Brittany takes a lot of trips. Like what do you think your average amount of trips is? Like going out of San Diego?
Maybe 6.
It does seem like more than that sometimes.
Didn't you just mention like 4 in the next month? Like right now?
I'm trying to think of how many.
Because you also not even that long ago went to Copenhagen.
Yeah. Well, so I just went to Puerto Vallarta in January, but that was a personal trip. And then now we have a work trip. But that would be a real bummer to miss because, obviously if it's a work trip, I didn't pay for it. And then I'm going to Seattle. And then in May, I'm going to Denver. And then my friend, I'm not allowed to say this. Okay. So, but then I'm going to go probably back to Copenhagen in August. But I have a friend who lives there. So I stay at their house.
Right.
And then I would like to visit Caitlin in Portland one more time this year.
All right. That does sound like 6 to 7.
That's hardly any. I mean, practically a hermit.
And then I feel like Vegas always gets thrown in there somewhere. And I don't even really.
You don't even count those. Yeah.
I don't count. Like Vegas or San Francisco, I don't really count as like a trip because it's just so.
Yeah, it's only a 4-hour drive to Vegas. That's nothing.
Well,
yeah, it's just a trip. It's not a trip. Like there's trips, there's trips, and then there's trippy trips.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like a trip.
I like that classification.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you can fly there in less than an hour, maybe it doesn't count. Because Vegas and San Francisco, it's easy.
And you're usually there for like 2 days in Vegas. It's not like So
Okay, yeah, I mean, I stand corrected. You don't go on that many trips.
Look, if I miss this trip tomorrow, I'm not going to be absolutely, completely devastated, but I would like to go.
Because you were in Puerto Vallarta like 6 weeks ago.
Do you know what do you know what I will be upset about though? If I shave my legs tonight in preparation for this trip and then I don't feel better tomorrow, I'm going to be really mad that I did that for no reason. Yes, honestly. I'll be pissed about that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to shave.
Ian asked how I was doing, and so that's
right.
So naturally, that's going to take 20 minutes.
Maybe next time lie.
Well, I said, "How's everybody doing?" And she said, "Not great." So I assumed she meant like COVID or Ukraine with Russia, thinking about like actual things going on.
You're right. Now I realize she answered for all of us.
Yes.
I guess.
You guys were like giving your guys like head nod, like okay, everything's fine. And then what would we have talked about?
That's true.
Well, my back kind of hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jake.
No one gives a shit, Jake.
Right. Did you go to the dentist recently?
Yeah.
That could
be was it from the chair?
Yeah, they made me crouch the whole time. I don't know. It was painful. Well, should we?
No, we need to ask Ian if he's ever been reviewed about because he hasn't. See, we need to tell Jake how to show
right.
it.
Yeah. So I've never been reviewed, but one time when I was in middle school, I got really sick and I ended up being in the hospital for like 3 months. And my teacher called my parents to complain that I wasn't doing my homework. So that was pretty fun.
Did they know you were sick?
Yeah. So she complained to them because she had to make like random assignments for me to make up when I got back, and then she held a grudge against me for the rest of my middle school time. I was with her.
Because you
So
were
that was nice.
3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I got back and she
it
gave
is,
me mad dude.
I guess, yeah, in a lot of ways it is rude to get sick because,
Yeah.
you know, you're just laying there and making everybody else do work. You got doctors coming in, they got to give you medicine, your parents got to pay the bills. It's rude. It's really inconsiderate to be very sick, especially as a child.
Was this at Bonita?
Yeah. Bonita Middle.
What class was
Everybody.
it?
I think it was like math or something.
That sounds like a math.
I don't even remember.
That definitely sounds like a math teacher thing. He like walks in to come like visit Ian, like sleep like in bed, like in the hospital, and he sees his homework not done. He's just like, this lazy piece of shit. I can't believe he hasn't filled out what 5 times 2 is or whatever. Well, that's more elementary school. But,
that by middle school you're past that, unless you were sick for a really long time, like you missed. I missed 2nd through 8th grade because I was sick.
I'm actually not insulted by the copy paste thing anymore because the level of knowledge Raul assumes everyone has is very low.
Yeah, I just think everyone's dumb, you know? It's even me.
Ian, do you mind if I ask what you were sick with?
Yeah, so I had appendicitis, and then when I went in to get it out, the surgery got infected, so I got peritonitis. And then
I don't know what peritonitis.
Yeah, it's just basically like your whole
infected,
stomach. Yeah. So it just basically means that your whole stomach is like infected.
So they didn't wash their hands before they did the
surgery.
surgery.
Wash your hands. That's what I'm telling you. You gotta wash your hands, man.
Oh,
gotta double check.
Holy, you had reminded them. Holy,
Debbie is right.
In there.
Yeah, she trusts me.
Wow.
Would that be grounds for like a potential lawsuit? Of course, you know, I imagine you're not going to do anything now. But do you think? But it wasn't that bad? Could you have actually done it?
I think probably because they sent me home after initial surgery because I was there for like a day or whatever, and then they sent me home, and like within 3 days I was already like extremely sick. I had to go back, and then they're like, "Oh, you have an abscess in your stomach the size of a golf ball," and I was like, "Oh,
that's so
okay."
cool.
Yeah. So then I had all these drains coming out of me, and I still have scars like on my belly button and stuff from where they were doing surgery.
Hell yeah, dude, that's so metal.
Yeah, it's super metal. Yeah.
So there was a lot of
It is funny though. Oh yeah, a lot of pus. You would have loved it. I know that you're into that weird shit. It is weird though that the thing I remember most is that teacher complaining about me. Like I just.
Well, it's like the audacity.
Most of the time.
Yeah, that would make me really mad. Did your parents yell at her? I feel like my parents would be like, "Fuck off, lady."
My dad looked at her like he was the dumbest person he had ever seen in his life.
Yeah.
Because I guess that they like dropped off the homework, and he wasn't aware that they were trying to give him work to do. I was bedridden. Yeah. And then he looked at it and he was like, "What is this? Why are you giving this to my almost dead son? He doesn't care about math."
Yeah, you know where he doesn't need to use math? Heaven. You know?
Yeah. True. Heaven has calculators and iPhones. We're all good.
To be fair, that's the one subject where if you miss 3 months of it, you're really going to just not know what's going on at all and be pretty fucked for the rest of your school career, probably. Like English,
yeah, I mean,
if you miss reading a book. Yeah.
You can always read To Kill a Mockingbird later. It's not going to
it's
not going to do anything. But yeah, if you miss that critical 8th grade lesson about 5 times 2, you're never going to figure
5
that
times
out.
2.
Right, that's what I was saying. Yeah. 10, by the way, for the listeners.
And he's wrong.
That would be great if he actually did that wrong.
All right. So, Jake, do you have a review for us?
No, I didn't do that this week. Maybe Raul should go.
Oh, okay.
No. All right. I've been making Raul go first like every time for the last, I don't know, 6 months.
It's a funny bit.
I wanted to continue, but Brittany and Raoul had an intervention
For the
before
sake of the
episode
podcast.
started.
Don't
Like,
make me
listen,
read, please.
You cannot make Raoul go first again. But all right, we'll get back to it eventually. Okay, this is a review for Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Oh, yeah.
This is 2 stars.
Hmm.
And the title is Very Hot Little Cheese Flavor. Not for me. I must be wrong. I love Thai, Chinese, and Indian hot. I'm good with some Mexican hot, but I like flavor too. To me, this snack is only very hot and not much cheese flavor. The aftertaste is not that great either. There just is nothing here for me. I'm a big classic Cheetos fan. I've referred to Cheetos as a food group. They are the best snack. I will try anything 3 times. Twice the Cheetos Crunchy Flamin' Hot cheese flavored snacks have struck out. One more chance, and it may be 3 strikes, and you are out. That's from Robert at Walmart.com.
I was gonna ask if I wrote this review because these are the exact same feelings I have about hot Cheetos.
You don't like hot
Wow.
Cheetos?
I like them fine, but I prefer original cheese Cheetos.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, well,
And it's-
you like Indian hot or Thai
or
hot
Thai hots,
or
but
Chinese hot
or some Mexican hot.
some
Well,
Mexican
Raul
hot.
doesn't like anything spicy, really.
I mean, I definitely have improved my taste to it, and I do like some of it. But hot Cheetos are sure is like in that middle ground where I'm like, yeah, it could be without it, as opposed to like hot sauce or something. I do really like hot sauce. But yeah, it is very like, because I see, it's very stereotypical that a lot of Mexicans love hot Cheetos, and it's just, and being especially in elementary school, in an all Spanish speaking classroom or like the bilingual classroom, everyone would be eating hot Cheetos. And I'm just the one outlier with the regular Cheetos, or people would offer it to me, and I'm like, I'm okay, and I felt like an outcast within my peers,
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking that while you were saying that you didn't like hot Cheetos, but I thought it would be racist to say because you're Mexican that I bet you're the only Mexican kid at your school that didn't like hot Cheetos because they were very popular. It was that. And that one Mexican candy where like you push it and the stuff comes through the holes.
Yeah. Or even like the Tajin Lucas,
Mhm.
that shit too.
Oh yeah, Lucas. Yeah. That was, I would say 80% of the conversations that I overheard from like 4th to 7th grade were people talking about those foods. They're very popular.
What about the hot fries? The hot fries, man. That's what I was about in high school.
I mean, those are very interchangeable to me. They're just skinnier hot Cheetos.
Nah, I never got super into the hot fries, but definitely hot Cheetos over regular Cheetos. I think regular Cheetos are actually kind of gross.
I think regular Cheetos are actually really good.
Really?
Because they are not very hot, but much cheese flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah, that part is true. But yeah, when I was younger, I had a lot of stomach problems, and the doctor told me to stop eating hot Cheetos, and I was like really fucking bummed about it.
How many hot Cheetos were you eating that this became a problem?
It didn't cause my stomach problems, but they were like saying there was like a lot of stuff that I should stop eating because of it, and that was one of them. But it's my favorite chips. I told you it's the least favorite thing that I've ever thrown up, so I eat a lot of them,
Now, we've stumbled onto a very interesting question I have. Are Cheetos chips?
What else would they be?
Yes.
A snack? Are Funyuns chips?
Yes.
Well, they're definitely marketed as chips, and thus I would think that they are chips. On top of them, probably
Sure about
actually
that?
being chips.
Does
But
the bag say chip?
that's a good question.
Now,
Okay. I feel like you're gonna pull something out.
Looked this up before because it's a conversation I've had. They do not call themselves chips. They call themselves puffed snacks. Because a chip, a potato chip, that's a chip. Corn chip, tortilla chip, those are chips. Pringles, chips.
Dude,
So in order to be a chip, you have to be completely flat, or what's the criteria?
Are pretzels a chip?
No,
No,
no, they're
that's-
pretzels.
they're
yeah, that's a snack.
Yes, I agree. And I'm saying that to illustrate my point, which is that not every snack that's crunchy and salty is a chip.
So you're telling me if somebody was like, "Hey Jake, you want me to pick you up some chips?" You'd be like, "No, I don't want any chips, but can you get me a bag of hot Cheetos?"
They'd be like, "What the fuck you did? I just asked you if you wanted any chips." You would make that distinction.
So yeah, Food Network defines Cheetos as puffs and not chips. Once we introduced the fact that there's a category called puffs, I mean, how can you argue that they're chips and not puffs?
Okay, well, my favorite puffs are hot Cheetos, which are also
Okay.
probably my favorite snack that is savory. Right? I mean, that is just so weird to me. That's like a hot dog hamburger is a hot dog a sandwich debate.
Right, which I guess we could get into right now.
I don't have
But-
an opinion. I could give a fuck.
Listen,
It's been done. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was 2007, maybe we should get into that. But now it's 2022. Now the debate is, are Cheetos chips?
But what
And-
what won that? Was there a
Was
general
there a
consensus?
resolution? I think
Yeah.
the answer is depends on how
I
you
think
define
no one
sandwich.
cares. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
It's bread and meat. So yes. I never even thought
Well,
about it. Am I like behind on current events?
Bread and meat? Is
Yeah.
a peanut butter and jelly
Yeah.
sandwich not a sandwich?
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that's
good
good.
one.
Grilled
Bread and
cheese
meat,
not a
yeah.
sandwich?
Yeah,
I like that
that's
we
a good point.
ended up getting into the conversation.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna,
argument, even though we said we
Yeah.
wouldn't.
I mean, I didn't want to, but if you're gonna
Here we
say
are.
shit like that, I gotta come for you.
Yeah.
All right, Brittany, do you have a review for us?
Yeah, let me see if I have it readily available, which you never know. Okay, I do. This is actually for a place in Puerto Vallarta. It's called
Someplace you're not going to visit?
I don't think I'm going to go to this place regardless, but it's called Montemar Beach Club Bar and Sushi. It says, I saw 5 hot black men pull down their Speedos and press butts against glass pool wall and saw all their holes. Enough said.
Wait, how many stars was it rated?
It doesn't show a
5.
star rating, but I think
five.
it seems, yeah, like a 5.
I gotta disagree with one aspect of this review, and that's the part where it says enough said. I need
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough said. Definitely not enough said.
I
How
am
was the
hungry for
sushi?
information about this. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I gotta
that's
collect my thoughts.
That's the part that I think is funny. Like, if it's just a beach club, fine, but it's also a sushi restaurant.
There's people just eating and just like, oh look, it's 5 black asses.
No, not their asses. Their
Oh, their
holes.
Yes.
Yes.
All of their holes.
Yeah,
all of them.
that's
Yeah. What are the other holes?
I mean, there's only so many on a human body.
well, I
To my
think,
knowledge, a male
think
only has
it's-
one hole.
I think it's all of their holes. So they all had one, but there were
Oh,
5 of them.
all-
Collectively.
them.
Yeah,
Okay.
collectively.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
started to have a real internal crisis right now.
So there's a big difference between fun mooning
Mhm.
and like sex crime mooning.
I think this is very fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's you because you like the grosser something is, the more you like it, which is fine. But fun mooning is just like you're just seeing someone's butt or a lot of people's butts.
yeah.
And it's funny because
Yeah.
you're seeing a butt. But this is like they're spreading their asses on glass to show their assholes. That's not a joke. That's like a sex crime.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
sex crime mooning.
I mean, it just depends what you think is funny, man. I
Yeah.
think assholes are funny. Personally.
I do think
Okay.
but if they were like pushing their dicks up against the glass, then that's gross. That seems
That would also be funny. But I get what you're saying.
yeah.
It's I'm not saying it's not funny. It is funny either way.
It's the
but
context. Like if I was on the street and a man walked up to me and bent over and showed me his asshole, I would be like, that's a sex crime. But if they're partying it up at a beach club and sushi bar, and like that's just funny. They're having a good time, man. They're not hurt. They're not doing it towards anyone specifically, you know?
Wait, so was she
I
eating?
mean,
Was she the customer, or were they the customers, or were they like the chefs? Who were they? These people.
I
I
think
think they
was
were
the
all
review
the
written by
customers.
one of the people that showed their assholes.
Yeah, it's
there's just not
unclear.
enough said. Not enough
There-
said in this review.
No, it's one of my shortest reviews. I was really proud of myself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you think you could keep eating? Well, I was
Yes.
going to say sushi, but
Yeah, easily. I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like,
100%.
yep, the sushi's great.
There's just like there's a window right here, and someone's anus is pressed against the glass, and you're just like you're eating. And you're like, boys will be boys, or whatever you say, and then you just keep wolfing down tempura.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not sushi. Tempura is not sushi.
No, it's not.
Well,
And
tempura
you're
roll.
you're really into like defining things and putting things in boxes. So
I guess I was thinking of a tempura roll.
okay, well then say that.
Okay, sorry. You're wolfing down a tempura roll.
That I might put down though. Like if it's good sushi, I'll eat it. But if it was a tempura roll, I'd be like,
Well, I
don't
think
know.
of the reason that I think of it like a tempura roll is because like that's
Right.
one
That's your
of the
that's your 5 times 2 example. You know, that's my example
don't-
for math. That's your
don't try to
example for
justify
sushi.
that, bro. Well, it's
I
not a-
don't think it's the same thing.
Right, no, just a basic example.
It would
of
be as
what
if I said you're eating well, it's like raw fish and it's wrapped in sushi. Sometimes there's avocado and it's wrapped in rice and you eat it with chopsticks or just
now are
by
you
hand.
mansplaining
sometimes.
sushi to me?
Yes, that is what he's
That
doing.
would be
Yeah.
the example of the 5 times 2 thing.
One time when I went to a strip club, it was like a Tuesday. So that maybe factored into it. But it was a fully nude strip club and the girl was like going around and she bent over to show everyone her asshole and it was like really big. Like I just sort of like will never forget that. Like
It's really big.
like very
big?
open, you know.
Oh.
Very
It was like very
Big gap.
welcoming. It was like, hello.
I mean, it was certainly welcoming, but that was shocking. And I
you were
was
it
afraid
like
you were
a-
gonna get sucked in or something?
whoa. I mean, but I was still like, that's cool. Like,
That's
whoa.
cool. I do not get as much enjoyment out of assholes as you do, I guess.
I
because-
mean, I'm not like an asshole fanatic. I just
Right. I mean, but even with the little that you've revealed, I feel like because for like even if it's a hot girl, I'm not a big she shows me her asshole. No thanks.
nothing about it is attractive to
Right.
me. I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. I think it's interesting.
It is the grossest part of the human body. So
You think?
you have
Yeah.
Hey, we've got
what's
a bunch
number
of
2?
boomers on this call. What's anti-ass over here? What's going on?
Look, I'm not a good millennial. I'm not into eating ass
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't.
Yeah, don't you
It's
know
gross.
all millennials eat ass now? Like, what's going on?
It's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're known for.
I've heard this, but I have not. Like everyone I know is like not anti-ass eating, but like more just pretty neutral. Where they're just, I mean, I'll do it if
So
I
you've-
love them, but
You've taken the temperature of everyone you know on this.
yeah,
It's
this
come up a
topic,
lot.
It seems to be,
Okay.
yeah.
So you've never done
I've
it,
never
Raoul?
done it now.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
Okay, I guess I'll ask the obvious follow-up. Brittany, have you done it? Because it
No,
sounds
I
like-
have never done it.
Okay, well,
But I
you're
feel like
very
that's
judgmental.
I
when
feel
you
like
ask
it's
me.
it's usually
It's a
more
man's
common
duty.
that a man does it to you. And yes, but no. And I don't think I'd be interested in reciprocating, even though you seem to think I'm so obsessed with assholes.
Well, it just seems like you said, you find it interesting. To me, it's like not interesting.
It's a body part that
Yeah.
you don't normally see. I think it's fine.
I could see how that could be interesting. Yes, but
Yeah.
to me, it's like, yeah, that's a little yucky.
It can be.
like this lady at the strip club. It sounds like.
Yeah.
That's yucky.
But apparently,
But
like,
you said it was cool.
It was like
Mm.
it was something that
Yeah,
you'd
that-
never think that you'd really see. And so you're not
Yeah.
expecting it and you're just like, whoa.
Right. If Brittany says something is cool, that means it's probably yucky because that's like
Yes.
that's what she
Oh.
likes.
Right.
And if I say a movie is fun, that probably means that it's incredibly gory
Yeah.
and fucked up. Yeah, because I've
Mhm.
recommended movies to people and I'm like, oh, it's really fun. And they're like, I don't think I would have called Green Room fun, but okay.
All right, so I got a review here. This review is for VIP Limousine in Chicago. Driver Carlos showed up early for our pickup. A good sign, right? Wrong. He shows up early and wants to use our bathroom. Turns out he pisses in our toilet and doesn't even have the courtesy to put down the toilet seats. This was the beginning of the end. We were going to this place called the United Center. Carlos clearly had no idea how to get there. He is totally reliant on a whacked out GPS system that has him driving his huge Cadillac Escalade stretch down an extremely narrow neighborhood streets, going in a route that makes no sense. I had to take over and give him clear directions on how to get to the expressway. Apparently, this was totally emasculating to him because he says, my GPS says otherwise. We finally get there, and he needs 2 numbers for the return pickup. We had already given him one from my female spouse. I say I will just give him mine since I am the person paying. Carlos says, I need one from a gentleman. I am confused and question this, and Carlos explained to this dumb female that he needs a number from a guy because girls take too many pictures and run down the battery of their phone. My expression must have said something because he continued and said, trust me, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm a middle-aged woman, not some dumb kid from this misogynistic worldview. I, of course, let him have it, and his response was to close the window divider while I was still talking. This guy is a complete a-hole.
So a lot about this guy sounds like you.
Is
Reminds
awesome.
me of you.
Yeah.
I knew that's where you're gonna go with this. Although I do trust my GPS with my life, and I
Yeah.
definitely have had people like been like, oh, just go this way, and I'm like, I'm just gonna follow this. It's fine.
Yeah, you do put the seat down, but you have absolutely no idea how to get anywhere, even places very close to our house that we've been to several times. There was another part that reminded me of you, but
The misogyny.
He's a horrible misogynist.
that might have been it. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, this guy is awful. He's clearly a bad guy, but
Yes.
I can't imagine how good it must feel to have someone yelling at you and then just slowly roll the divider up in the middle of their sentence. It just click and then silence, and you just keep driving. That rocks.
I feel like
So
we
good
all
for
wish
him
we
for
had
that.
that divider sometimes.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's one thing to be sexist and be like, oh no, women are always taking so many pictures that their phone dies. But to like say that to a customer when she clearly is like, it's like a lesbian couple, and you're saying, I hope you have a male friend with you. Because otherwise, like, what? The audacity of that is kind of impressive.
I mean, and he's also so wrong because those girls who take a lot of pictures go through great lengths to make sure that their phone does not die so they don't miss out on taking said pictures. So they're probably the safest bet of people to give your phone number to, because other people who don't care, like, what do I need my phone for? I'm enjoying the experience.
Yeah, like a loser. Yeah, I mean, that type of girl will like jump over the bar without permission and plug in her charger while the bartender's yelling, and she's like, oh, sorry. And then the bartender's like, all right, you rascal.
Yeah.
So it seems safe to me to get the... Also, yeah, if this woman says she's middle-aged, so she's like 40. Yeah, that's like a 21-year-old might do that, but yeah, the balls on this guy.
I was just gonna say, I don't think that it's I don't think you could reason. Like, if you tried to have that argument with him, Brittany, I think he would probably just close the window on you, like halfway through.
Oh, for certain. I would get so fucking mad. I would like be banging on that window so hard.
It would absolutely make me furious to be on the other side of that. But I do have to admit, I would love, maybe he's just a huge asshole so that he can have the experience of someone starts yelling at him and he's like, I got him exactly where I want him. Time to hit the button. And it just slowly...
one benefit of my job.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I like this guy so much. I'm
No,
sorry.
I mean,
it's very funny. But he's a bad person. Don't get me wrong. He's a bad guy.
mhm.
Okay, it seems like you are mad.
I'm
So let's
fine.
just move. Okay. All right, well, I believe you. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. All right. So this is a review for a movie called The Godfather, which is out in
Never heard
theaters
of it.
now. Oh, yeah, you should check it out. This is a 1-star review, and like I say, the way it's written, it's written almost like a poem because it's got a lot of line breaks.
Then my
So-
brain will completely shut off. I can't with poetry.
Okay, well,
So I'm gonna I'm gonna walk away for a bit. and
okay,
then-
we'll see you in 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's not actually a poem. It's just there's like a line segment and then a line break and then all right. Here we go.
Mhm.
1 star for The Godfather. This is one of my few secrets. I did not care for The Godfather. It's like the perfect movie, says everyone who's told me to watch it. I mean, fine actors, but did not like the movie. It insists upon itself. It takes forever getting there. I can't even. I have never even seen the ending. I have tried on 3 separate occasions to get through it. I like the money pit. And that's their review of The Godfather.
Both of your reviews had people who will try things 3 times.
Oh,
Exactly.
There's a theme.
It's a theme.
There's a theme.
But there's like the review is a few lines and then there's several empty lines and they say, I like the money pit. Just another completely random movie. I don't know why
I
that
think
came
it's
up.
funny. It never dawned on him. Maybe I should just watch part of it and then finish it later. Why restart it over and over and over again?
Yeah, that is like if you're trying to watch it, you're like, oh, I got 2 hours in this 3-hour movie. I'm gonna try again, but I should start at the beginning again.
Yeah, I hated every
It's-
second of it, but let's start it from the top once again.
Do you guys like the movie? I've never seen it.
I love it.
I do.
Great.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think
Yeah.
you'd like it.
You don't think it insists upon itself? Because that
No,
seems like something that somebody says that feels like it would be true, maybe.
It's slow.
Yeah, I mean, I love the phrase that it insists upon itself because what does that mean? That means nothing.
Yeah.
It does insist upon itself.
I feel like I can't explain what it
Which
means,
is good.
but I feel like I just
Or-
kind of know that like vibe of like the kind of movie that they're talking about.
Yeah,
it-
Where
Is
it's
that
like
what
up
it is?
where it's up its own ass a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Okay. It's not really a pretentious
No.
movie, I don't think. It's just like
Yeah, I
it's
wouldn't say
not.
that.
people, you know, when a movie gets to that level where a lot of people say it's the best of all time, people are just there are going to be people who just naturally push back on it. Like, no, fuck
Yeah.
that. It's boring, whatever. And I don't really think it's boring. I think it's a good movie. It's a little bit long, but there are fine actors in it.
Like Michelle
Part 2 is
Pfeiffer.
better though, right?
Oh no, is she in Scarface?
Yeah. Diane Keaton is in.
I like her even more. I didn't know that, I don't think.
Yeah, she plays Al Pacino's wife.
Wow, now I'm gonna watch it.
I do think the second one is better, Ian. I think you're right. The
Yeah.
Godfather
Yes.
2.
Is it a
Is,
spoiler to ask if she's in the second one? Like maybe she dies and I shouldn't ask you guys that.
I guess it's not. She is.
Okay,
she's-
cool. Okay, cool.
But
I
The
don't think you
Godfather.
can spoil a movie that's that old.
Yeah,
honestly.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
true.
50 years old, so
Well, to be fair, so I had always only seen parts of Pulp Fiction over like the course of I don't know 15 years. And so to me, even though this movie had been out forever and I was seeing what I would consider to be most of the movie, like one of the last times that I watched another part of it, I was like, holy fuck, John Travolta dies? Like I had no idea at all.
That's really
and like
funny.
that was never told to me. Like I'd never been brought up at all. Had no idea.
Well, that is very funny because since it's told out of order, like the last sequence in the movie, he's alive because it like takes place before the death scene. So it is reasonable if you are not watching it all the way through. You can totally miss that because it happens in one scene. He dies, and then later in the movie, he's back again. So
I think it was playing at a bar, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
this is
Why did it hit you so hard?
Just because I really did not think that happened in that movie.
Yeah, well, if you think you know a movie well, and then one of the main characters dies and you didn't realize, sure, that would surprise me.
Yeah, it was shocking.
That is a weird movie taken in little bits and pieces, for sure. So I would imagine that it would like be kind of mind scrambling to just pick up random pieces of Pulp Fiction as you walk by or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's almost exactly how it is anyway. So it felt fine watching it like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the entire experience of the movie is it's like multiple vignettes, so you could very easily just watch 25% of it and it's really self-contained and feel like you got a full experience.
Brittany also said you haven't seen Kill Bill.
No,
right?
I haven't seen Kill Bill.
A lot of Tarantino movies in the step.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of Tarantino movies also. So
Touche.
yeah,
In your face, dude.
No, Tarantino, he's yeah,
My bad.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Egg on me.
well, I think he said like he was only going to do 10 movies ever in his life, right? Did you guys know that?
I don't recall him saying that. No.
Oh, well, I heard him on a podcast, and I think he was saying that, but I just can't remember if he was like done or if he's not released 10 yet.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Sure, it seems like he's made 10 movies.
I think he's at 10. Right?
I don't know if he considers the Grindhouse movies to count, but I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
consider
true.
those
Yeah.
to count, personally.
I mean, they're real movies. Okay, so you got Reservoir Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Small.
Jackie
Pulp
Brown.
Fiction. Jackie Brown.
Kill
Kill Bill 1.
2.
2. Django Unchained. Inglorious
Bastards.
Bastards. The Hateful Eight. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
We got
We had 9 with 10.
we got one more coming, and that's it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then it's the end.
And Death Proof, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't, or maybe he counts
It
Kill
was like
Bill 1 2
0.5.
as 1.
Yeah, maybe counts that as 1,
yeah.
and then Death Proof is a 0.5.
Okay.
I mean, it's only like an hour, right? Or yeah, that movie, since it splits time with Planet Terror.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's true.
We'll have to have
I'll
him
give
on the
a pass.
podcast, and we'll ask him.
Yeah, we could probably wrap that up.
Yeah.
All right.
Brittany, let's do one last review, and then we'll close out.
Okay. Well, it's pretty similar to my first review.
Okay.
Did you just search the keyword asshole and then just go down
I
the
should
list?
do that. This is a 5-star review for Black Speech. It says, been there like 5 times. First time I remember was 2010. And I must say, if you're going to masturbate or have sex gay or straight, go to a bush and don't bring your minor children here. I've seen a Hispanic couple with a toddler who was bawling her eyes out and probably terrified at the sight of men's penises. Utilize decency and common sense. Oh yeah, if you're fishing nude, LOL, haha.
If you're fishing nude,
and then no, like there wasn't like if you're fishing nude,
then
yeah, it just said LOL, haha.
So Black Speech, by the way, is a nude beach in San Diego, in case anybody missed that. But so people just straight up have sex there. Gay
I mean,
and
I've
straight.
been there.
No.
And I've never seen anybody have sex there.
Yeah, maybe their definition of sex is just 2 people just cuddling, and then if you're naked, I guess someone could mistake it.
If you're cuddling naked, I mean,
Yeah, if you're cuddling naked,
That's 3/4 of the way to sex.
Also, you're gonna cuddle on the beach. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
That's not a cuddle spot.
but I like how they're like, if you're going to masturbate, have sex, gay or straight, go to a bush, have some decency. They're not like, don't do it.
Yeah, I guess A better rule would just be, if you're going to masturbate or have sex, do it in your house, because that's where you're allowed to do it and not in public. That's sort of the general rule
Also-
for most places anyway.
How does
But you
anyone
can
have sex
cuddle
in a
though if
bush?
you're naked, right?
That's fine.
Yeah, cuddling naked.
That's
fine.
fine. Anywhere.
According to Raul, yeah.
They're like, Raul, stop, and he's like, I'm cuddling, that's all I'm doing.
Just mashing my penis just on them. No, we're just cuddling.
I was at Black's Beach once with a friend and we were sunbathing nude, and then a family did walk by with like a bunch of little kids, and I felt like really weird.
Were they clothed or like they're
Yeah.
not aware?
No,
that
they
this-
were clothed. If they were naked, then I would have felt like very European about it, but they weren't. So then I just
Okay.
felt like a sexual predator, like Jake would say.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should be in jail, but I guess I don't understand why you would even consider taking a child to a nude beach.
I feel like
A lot of
I would think that they must have not known, but is it very clear? Like, is there like kind of like a signs everywhere that
No, but there's a lot
No.
of naked people, so maybe that'll tip them off.
that's
Raul, did you not know Black's
Not
Beach?
that many people there when I went.
What were
I used to go surfing there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly guys that get naked, like older dudes, like anywhere, I guess. But Raul, did you not know it was a?
I knew it was a like a nudist beach, but I've never been, and so I don't know where like if it's like kind of fenced off in a way, if there's signs that say nude beach, or if it's
No.
just something you could just kind of walk into and be like, oh, I didn't know this is where I am now.
So the thing about it is, I think it is it's like everybody knows that it's a nude beach, but it's not legally allowed to be a nude beach. So I don't think they advertise it that way. At least that's what I've heard. And also, yeah, so a lot of reviews were people saying like, oh, I didn't realize that this place is a nude beach. But also the number one complaint was just the hill that you have to walk down and up to get there, because it's like a hike. So you can't just stumble upon the beach. You have to very intentionally go there. But while you're walking down that trek onto the beach, you can definitely already start to see naked people, and then maybe decide you want to turn around and go right back up,
Yeah, it does seem kind of fucked up for a parent to bring a child. Like, I guess, I don't know, maybe big picture, it's like, if you don't make it a big deal, it's not a big deal to the kid, whatever. But if you're an adult and you're at a nude beach naked, and then a kid walks up, it does feel like you are victimizing them just by being there. So it's kind of like a sort of an evil prank on behalf of the parents.
Yeah, I felt really gross.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I would not. At first, I would never do it in the first place. But if I was there, and then a little kid walked by within 100 meters of me, I would feel really, really weird about that. That would be really uncomfortable.
And what if they started bawling like the kid in the review?
I'd be
Yeah,
like,
they were
I'm
fine.
not happy about it either.
They were fine. They passed by like 50 people, but they got to you, and that was it for them.
That was the last straw.
And you're just like,
No, it's not the concept of nudity I have a problem with. It's this
It
nudity.
was like, the man has no hair.
I'll
His
just
only
say,
problem
I'm
is that you're
scream,
bald.
blame your parents. Blame your parents. It's not me. This is a nude beach.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here.
Although, yeah, I guess that would be a real hit to your self-esteem if you're there's like a little kid seeing your naked body and just bursting into tears. How do you recover from that?
I would just convince myself that it was just pure shock and had nothing to do with like whether or not they found it pleasant.
That is quite a bit
That's
of
the way
I
to
couldn't
yeah.
think of a
mental
better
gymnastics.
word.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
Here, we're gonna start rounding up here. Ian, is there anything you want to plug before we sign off?
Like your gamer
I
handle,
think we
maybe, or
should plug our clan for Call of Duty, the Boy House.
The Boy House Boys.
Raul, founding member. You don't know
Well, actually,
Raul's,
technically, former guest Sal Viesca was the founding member of Boy House Boys. He like said it one time, then we're like, I guess that's our clan name now, and he wasn't even invited to partake.
Yeah, Raul has the most
just a fun
edgelordy
detail.
name out of all of us. Fade
Hell yeah, dude.
to Inferno.
Hell yeah, dude! You gotta be fading to the inferno. You know?
Fuck yeah.
So yeah. So
Whenever
add me on God, what is it even? Whatever. Add me on Call of Duty on Modern Warfare.
I've had to sign into like a couple of Raul things before, and whenever he gives me his lists of what his passwords might possibly be, it's like it's really insanely embarrassing.
As embarrassing as Fade to Inferno.
I think more so. Like
let's
no,
hear
that's
some
not
of them.
possible.
Some of your
I don't think
passwords.
so.
I mean,
Because
this is
it's-
not a password, but it's similar to like Black Death, something, so, like shit like that.
Okay, you know what? Now I know which one you're talking about, and yeah, that's fine. Death was one of my favorite metal bands. You know, I probably shouldn't tell people my password to things, but you know,
Yeah, probably not.
I have a good excuse. And
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely had some embarrassing like handles on AIM when I was 13, but you can like change them, and as when you're in your 30s, you don't have to keep the handle of Fade to Inferno as an example.
But it's so easy to remember, you know, and it's like I've
It is because people are constantly making fun of it.
Yes,
That
that's
does make it stick in your head.
So.
That's true.
Before we sign off, though, Jake, what was your most embarrassing screen name?
Well, I did have one that was like Black Death as a reference to the Black Plague, but oh, I know. It was Dead Man Inc.
I think that's cool.
All right, okay.
Well, it's a reference to the Undertaker.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's related to that.
He applies for jobs with the email Fade to Inferno.
I did not apply. Fuck you.
And yeah, if you'd like to contact me for this, my email is fade to inferno at lifejournal.com. Just reach me
Yeah,
there.
live video, yeah.
Alrighty. Speaking of following, please follow us at our Instagram, Zero If I Could podcast. Also, you can follow me personally at Raul Z Comedy, and feel free to subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Zero If I Could. Brittany, where can they find you?
At Bitchney H.
All right, Jake. Any parting thoughts before we sign off?
I'm just out here doing my own thing. Don't even worry about me. You guys just take care of yourself. How about that? Look after each other out there.
Wow, it's very long-winded sign off. I guess
I'm a.
Thing.
I
you
have
guys
to
do
use-
it every week. You're gonna say that
Well,
verbatim.
yeah, I haven't had a consistent sign off for a while, but okay, yeah, maybe I'll keep that one.
I think that might be the one.
I'm gonna
Let's see.
take
I
care
feel
of
like you should
myself
go
now,
with-
so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like you should go with "Leave Me Alone." That's a good one that I've never heard before.
Consider it. Just consider it.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. I'll think about
Consider
it.
it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye.
I'd give you 3